There is no lights, no video, no microphone, no nothing. So I'm going to have to speak with my loud voice, which is fine because I got a loud voice! Just try to say that 10 times fast. Anyway.
How about we just move everything closer to you?
Okay, actually, why not everyone just move closer? I like to move closer. We got some pillows back here. We got some pillows. Move closer. Okay.
Quicker.
Oh, come on. I already got these out. Okay.
Do you know what like scenario?
To those of you who do not know who I am a stranger.
Stranger danger, stranger danger.
I'm a good stranger, okay? I'm not going to steal your money or anything like that. So, I'm a good stranger, but we will not be strangers anymore because I'm going to introduce myself because my name is Andrew Plopkamp. Yeah. Is that supposed to be needing to laugh, signifying that I'm evil somehow? Deshaun? What? Exactly. Anyway. First off, I must ask you who likes tubing? Who likes tubing? You know? I did.
If there are 2 people who didn't raise their hand.
Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness, tubing is awesome. Just okay. I got a visual of it up here. I'm just gonna act like I'm tubing. Just going 30, 40 miles an hour, doing sharp turns. Almost think you're gonna fall off. Almost, but then you get back up. Then you just feel like you can fly. You feel like you can fly. And then these big, huge waves just hit you. It's like da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Sometimes, like once, I hit a wave so high, I did a backflip into the water. It was awesome. It was awesome. And also, just jumping the wave, just going in and out, and then getting ready, and then jump, and getting major air. It is a blast. It is so much fun tubing. And usually when I go out tubing, my dad pulls me. My dad drives the boat. And I trust. Are you okay, Justin? Are you okay, Dustin? Almost. Okay, cool. Usually my dad drives the boat. And he just makes sharp turns and goes like 30, 40 miles an hour. But he doesn't try to hurt me. His goal is not to make me fall off, or his goal is not to go as fast as you can across the corner and watch me skip like a skipping stone. 50, 40 feet. No, my dad loves me. He doesn't want me to be hurt. He doesn't want me to get hurt on the tube. So he can go a little crazy, but not too crazy where I might get hurt. You see, my dad loves me. He's going to take care of me. And because I know that, I trust him. That's why I get on this tube right here, and I trust my dad. Trust my dad, because I know that he's not gonna hurt me. I know he's gonna take care of me. That's the same with God here. You see, we need to depend on God, like I depend on my dad when I'm on the tube. You see, we need to depend on God like a kid depends on his parents for anything. Okay, I'll ask you, Steve. What do you depend for your parents? Like, in what area do you trust your parents in?
Playing fair.
Playing fair. In what area does your parents? How do you depend on your parents? Drive you to school. That's important. You? Oh yeah. Oh, they invented that. Yeah. You? Over your head.
My parents always did when if I get into trouble or I need some advice.
There you go.
I mean,
Financially. Clothes. Okay.
I got one.
What is it, Sean?
Hey, school supplies.
School supplies.
Transportation.
I depend on my parents for food, sometimes for transportation, finances, for advice, and for love and a whole lot of other things. You see, we need to depend on God like we depend on our parents, because hey, God created us. God knows everything about us. God is not out to get us. God is not waiting for a chance to God's not waiting for a chance to just mess up your day, God's not waiting for a time to just watch you slip up and then just roast it. You're gone. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. That's it. Pimples on your face. There you go. Or broken foot. Bam. Or I don't know. Well, lose your wallet. Bam. Lose your purse. Bam. No, God is not out to get us. God's not out to hurt us in any other way. It's the complete opposite. God is out to help us. He loves us so much. He does not want us to go down a path where He can't follow a path. He doesn't want us to go down a path of destruction. He loves us. He doesn't want to hurt us. He wants to take care of us. He's never going to leave us or forsake us. So why not trust in God? He's omnipotent. He's the most powerful being in the universe. Why not trust in Him? Why not depend on Him? Now, so then is independence bad? Like, we're talking about dependence, like depending on God in every situation that we are in. So is independence bad? Of course not. Such as a slave being free after many, many years of oppression. Now that is great independence. That's freedom. But, however, independence can go too far. How? Well, in movies, in music, in culture, in TV shows. They're sending a message where they say, it's your life, do what you want to do. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. Now that sounds okay, but there are a lot of people out there who are saying, I don't need God. I can live life by myself. I don't need your guidance. I don't need anything from you. I'm going to make it on my own. I'm going to be independent. Are you dumb? Come on. I mean, a lot of people are saying this thing. They're not saying it with their words, but they're saying it with how they live. They're saying, I don't need God. I don't need the being who created me. Thanks God for creating me, but I'm just going to live life on my own because you don't know what you're talking about. Because I know that I can take care of myself better than you can. That's just dumb. I'm sorry. But to think that we can live life on our own, that's just, well, I'm going to say it again, dumb. I mean, looking back at my life, I am just scared. I am completely terrified. Just thinking about times where I could have not sought God. I could have just decided to go my own way. Honestly, I'm very scared. I'm very scared to just think about what would a life be like without God. That just creeps me out. Because without God, I wouldn't be here, right here. I would be somewhere else. life. So, we need to depend on God. Because we need God 24/7. We were created for God. The best life possible is depending on God. Like a child depends on a parent. Thank you. When I was a kid and up till now, I honestly need my parents all the time. And we will never grow up. We should never grow up and say, you know what, God, I needed you then, but not now. I'm an adult now. I can do stuff on my own. No. We need God all the time. It says in Matthew 18:4, therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Now, the disciples asked Jesus this question: who is the greatest? Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And I bet the disciples were thinking of some big rich guy who gave all his money to the poor, or some priest who kept all the commandments, who memorized the Torah. That's Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. What? Leviticus, Numbers. Thank you, buddy. They memorized that whole book, and they did all these great things. That must be the person. He must be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. He must be the greatest. But no! Jesus goes to a kid, a child, and says, he is the greatest. Why? This kid never did anything good, anything profound as a king or a priest. No. One reason. Why? Because a child depends. We need to depend. And it's very humbling. Just say, God, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out here. And again, Jesus basically says the same thing in Matthew 19:14, where now this verse it's kind of funny to me, but I'll just read this. But Jesus said, "Let the children come to me. Don't stop them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like these children." So again, he says, the kingdom of heaven is filled with people who are like these children. And the crazy thing was, the disciples didn't get it. Jesus told them back in chapter 18 that the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is a child. And yet, here are these children wanting to go to Jesus. But the disciples were just blocking them, saying, "Oh no, don't touch Jesus. No, we don't want your filth on him." It was like the disciples were like bodyguards at a Justin Bieber concert, just trying to get all the screaming fans, just trying to stay away. But Jesus was like, "Hey, disciples, stop! Let them come! Let them come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like these children." We read this. The disciples didn't get it. And sometimes we don't get it. We try to stop our inner child. We try to stop depending on God, saying, "Okay, God, okay, I depend on you for my salvation and for clothes, but for all this other stuff, but not in this area. I'm not going to depend on your guidance in this area, in this area of my life. I'm just gonna watch this TV show that I'm not supposed to watch, or I'm just gonna take some money from my parents, but without them knowing, just a little bit, because I really need it, or I'm gonna hang out with these friends I know my parents don't really like, and I know I shouldn't be hanging out with them, but I just kind of want to. So God, I love you. I depend on everything it sounds scary and uncomfortable. We need God. And of all the people in the Bible, David, you know, the guy who slung Goliath, who killed Goliath, he had it all. He had a kingdom. He had a beautiful wife. He took out a giant, an 8-foot, 9-foot giant with a sling and a stone. He had all this wealth. He had everything a man could wish for, but he knew he needed God still. Why? Because depending on people, depending on money, those things will not satisfy. Those things will fail. Trying to depend on money, people, yourself, that it will not always come out good. You'll be disappointed depending on those things. But with God, you'll never be disappointed. You'll never fail. When you depend on God, everything's going to be all right. Even if it doesn't look like it. Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, so why should I be afraid? The Lord is my fortress, protecting me from danger, so why should I tremble?" 3 things David says about depending on God. He realizes 3 things. That God was his light. That without God, he couldn't see where he was going. He couldn't make decisions. He couldn't make the right decisions without God. Like we need lights in this building to see where we're going. We need God to help us in our direction of life, to tell us where we need to go. And also, David said that God was our salvation. Without God, all is lost. We're hopeless. Without depending on God, where else could we depend on? Because God sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross for all of our sins. And if we don't depend on God, if we don't depend for our salvation, if we don't depend on God for our salvation, who else? What else? Jesus is the only way, the only truth, and the only life out there. Without that, we'd all be going straight to hell. But by depending on God, He brings us salvation. Salvation through Jesus Christ. And also, the last thing, David said that God was his fortress. That whatever life throws at you, God will protect you. Because no matter who you are, there are some things in life that just seems unbearable. That seems that it's all hopeless, it's all gone. I can't do this. God will give you the strength. God will help you. God will protect you from all the things in this life that seem just so bad. Because I don't know about you, but I know I live in a crazy, crazy world where anything can happen. Anything can happen, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And through those bad times, we need someone to depend on. That's God. That's God right there. Because He will never leave us or forsake us. One of my favorite verses of all time, Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. We need to let God take full control of our lives. If not, we'll miss out on so much. Back to tubing. Okay. I trust my dad. I trust my dad knowing that he will take care of me, knowing that he won't hurt me behind this tube. But sometimes the wind brings these huge waves and then I get so I get scared. And then I just stop trusting my dad. Like, I don't want to go tubing anymore. I want to get off. I want want to get off. And I miss out on all the fun of tubing. All the waves, all the sharp turns, jumping with the wave, everything. Battle tubing with my brothers, trying to throw off my brothers into the water. That's fun. It's the same with God. You know, God's not out to get you. But sometimes in life can just hit you hard. And all the waves of bad situations, the winds, and all that stuff, can make it sound like, oh my goodness, where's God taking me? And it's not God's fault at all. It's just the bad situations. It's just life. Sometimes life just hits you hard, and we feel like, oh, we can't trust in God anymore. We got to depend on ourselves, and we get off the tube, and we miss out on so much that God, so much. We miss out on so much. The blessings, the direction, the guidance, the love. When we stop depending on God, we miss out on so much. We miss out on the greatest life a person can live. Depending on God, depending on the only person ever who knows everything from beginning to end. There's many people from the Bible who just stopped depending on God. But there's one person though I want to talk about. How many of you have ever heard of Saul? Good amount of you. Actually, I think all of you. But Saul was the first king of Israel. The Israelites wanted a king like all the other nations. They didn't want to be individuals. They wanted to be copycats. So they wanted complaining. Oh, we want a king! We want a king! We want a king! Spirit of Samuel was like, okay. Goes to God, and God's like, okay. They say they want a king? Okay, give them a king. And here comes Saul. Now, at first, Saul was a great king. He relied on God for guidance. And it looked like he was going to be a great king. However, something went wrong. Hence why he brought him up. In this one instance, there was this huge battle going on against the Philistines. Israel versus the Philistines, round one, bing bing. And at this point of the battle, the Philistines were at full strength and they were ready to strike. And the Israelites were getting all, oh my goodness, where is Samuel? Because usually the high priest or a prophet would come and sacrifice and put blessings on that army. And so they're just waiting for Samuel to say, okay, where's Samuel? Where is he? Oh my goodness. So what do you do? And Saul's basically doing the same thing. Oh my goodness, where's Samuel? He's not coming this way, and I'm scared. And so he makes an irrational choice. He makes a dumb choice and says to himself, I will make the sacrifice! Knowing full well that kings are not to sacrifice. That's not what they're called to do. Prophets, priests, they were called to sacrifice. They were the only ones back in the day. But Saul just threw that out the window and said, you know what? I will sacrifice. And this what happens. Samuel comes in right after Saul is done with the sacrifice. Here we go. What have you done? Asked Samuel. Saul replied, when I saw that the men were scattering, and you did not come at the set time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, I think. I thought, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the Lord's favor. So I felt compelled to offer the burnt offering, and I bet Saul was just like, What a great king am I. I'm just like, he was just like, ha ha ha! I awesome to the capital A. Samuel just starts him a new one. Samuel goes, you acted foolishly. You have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and appointed him leader of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command. Saul did not follow God's command. He did not depend on God's command. He thought, okay. Yeah, this night's very just low key. You know. He did not seek the Lord's favor. He sought his own favor, and it cost him his kingdom. And through the rest of the time he was king, he sought his own. He depended on his own wisdom again and again and again and again and again and again and again until it killed him. That first decision led to a life of not depending on God, but depending on his own wisdom. And it led to him killing himself. So what will you do? Will you stay on the two? Depend on God? Live the best life you can live the best life? I don't know about you, but I will, because there's no other way out there. Can you bow your hands? Close your eyes. Now, this is the best life. This is the best life anyone can live. Now, if there is anyone out here who wants to leave Jesus, Lord of their life, to depend on God, depend on Jesus for your salvation, would you please raise your hand? Everyone saved? Awesome, awesome. Here's another thing I want you guys to do. I want everyone to stand up. Everyone to stand up. Here we go. Light! Now, there's one more thing I want us guys to do before we head out. Make a declaration of dependence. Now you've heard Declaration of Independence, but then it's a declaration of dependence, where we declare to God that we will trust in Him no matter what. So we're going to take Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 and just make it our own. So repeat after me. I will trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord
With all my heart.
With all my heart.
And lean not on my own understanding. But in all my ways. I will acknowledge God. And depend on God. And God will make my path straight. That's it. You guys are dismissed. Woo!
Grab the pillows, guys, and